So the Inspiration Grant really was a gift that the Grey Nuns of Montreal provided us. They provided us a $1.5 million contribution, which we matched. And it speaks to the spirit of the Grey Nuns. They've always been pioneers, they've always been risk takers, and they've always, and they continue to tell us today, where are the needs today, where are the gaps, what is it we can do, how do we go further in terms of our support to those who are most in need. Et pour innover, pour trouver des différentes façons de faire des choses. Ça, c'est vraiment l'esprit des Sœurs Grises. Elles étaient toujours pionnières, elles n'avaient pas peur de prendre des risques, elles n'avaient pas peur de tenter des nouvelles choses, surtout si ça peut aider ou appuyer ceux dans le besoin.
Well, the whole idea of trauma-informed care, it came about in the 90s, and it came about with this idea that it's not what's wrong with you, it's what happened to you. And so it's really guided a lot of the human services philosophy throughout the years in terms of how we work with our clients.
We were really looking for a model that would take us from being trauma-informed to trauma-responsive and then trauma-resilient. And Dr. Sandra Bloom is renowned, and she had sort of come up with this new model similar to the sanctuary model, which was called the presence model, and we thought it would be an amazing opportunity to be the first to start implementing this brand new model.
We know why behaviors exist, but sometimes people don't know exactly what to do when those behaviors present. So if we can learn and have a toolkit on how to be responsive to that, it creates more of a trauma-resilient organization. So our staff are resilient, our clients are resilient, and that translates to kids leaving Marymount and youth leaving Marymount and becoming resilient in the community.
The Inspiration Suite is a dedicated room, a space at St. Amant, where it would be outfitted with technology that would allow people to control their environment. So opening the door, controlling the bed, the head going up and down, turning on and off the TV, picking your own TV channel. The people that we work with often take a longer time to learn new skills and takes time to sort of see what that potential actually is. It's not a one-shot deal. Some people need months, some people a couple times. So having the Inspiration Suite there to bring people to see where their potential lies, how they might be able to access their environment and have control. So then that person, once their trial and assessment is complete, we can provide them with exactly what technology they need to go and get, because technology is growing, it's so much more available, but there's a lot of it. It can be really overwhelming. So to be able to actually try it and to provide people with the recommendations of exactly what we know will work for them is huge.
The neurosequential model of therapeutics is something that was developed by Dr. Bruce Perry. It looks at trauma as having caused a brain injury, developmental trauma, and approaches those who have suffered this injury with the idea of meeting them where they're at. So developmental trauma basically throws a glitch into the brain development process. So depending when it happens and how severe and how prolonged it is, it impacts a different part of the brain and essentially stalls development.
So when we're children, our brain is developing down here and it has a sequential sequence where it works its way up. Children who have been exposed to trauma, their brain does not develop in the same way as a child who hasn't been exposed to trauma. So their development is spotty, so it's all over the place. This model helps you figure out when the trauma occurred, what areas are affected, and then once you have what areas are affected, you're able to provide interventions that work on fixing the affected area.
So early power mobility training is an idea of having ride-on cars that are modified to fit the child, so whatever their physical needs might be, through extra supports or through switch access, and a combination of both, and bringing power mobility to children who might otherwise be pushed in a stroller or carried around, so getting them to explore their environment. So I think giving kids this opportunity it shows what they're able to do. It shows their families too, just how much they're capable of. And I think it shows the greater community as well. So if you don't give a child the opportunity or that chance to show you what they're able to do, and that opportunity to learn as well, then they'll never be able to fully show you all of their skills. But I think giving them this opportunity, setting them up for success, I think that's going to be something that the whole community is going to be able to see. Oh wow, these kids can do it.
I really wanted something that would be a lasting impact, would add a therapeutic benefit, something that can be beneficial to all the residents of Action Margaret, and really enable them to be in a sensory experience and promote their personhood, their identity.
The garden therapy helps with loneliness, depression, boredom, and it's something you see a lot in long-term care these days.
We'll also have carts that will go up on the locked units, and they'll be able to engage in a sensory experience. So they'll be able to touch, they'll be able to see, they'll be able to smell, and in some cases with fresh herbs, they'll be able to taste. I was in touch with one of the educational leads through the Winnipeg Regional Health Authority, and she actually looked into, is there any kind of therapeutic gardens in Winnipeg, and there isn't. So this will be a first.
This was an exciting process. Our hearts are full because there's some really good projects we're able to get to, but we also know there's a whole lot of other things we weren't able to get to. So we hope that doesn't discourage anyone, and we hope next year that you'll also get involved and bring forward those ideas. There's lots out there, and hopefully we can get to more of them as the years move on with this project. So thanks everyone for their commitment and their continued commitment, particularly to serving the people that come through our doors in their time of need. Tous ceux et celles qui ont donné leur temps, un grand merci. On était fiers et contents et stimulés par ce qu'on va fournir comme appui à les projets qui ont été sélectionnés, mais on est peinés aussi parce qu'il y avait plein d'autres projets qui étaient aussi extraordinaires. Alors j'espère que vous allez être encore encouragés de penser à vos idées, de trouver des façons de poursuivre ces idées-là dans les années à venir. Qui sait, j'espère être capable de financer vos idées dans le futur avec ce projet-ci.
Thank you very, very much. The opportunity to be able to do this within the community and for our organization is absolutely wonderful, and you will not be disappointed to see our success down the years to come.
It's just unbelievable.
Well, the first thing I think we need to tell CHCM is thank you for giving us this opportunity. And also that we will be using every dollar to make sure that it makes a difference.
Even just going and meeting with the board and the other members during the interview process, it was such a positive and welcoming atmosphere.
We're just really overwhelmed with gratitude.